Hi, I'm Chris Cole and welcome to this video in which I'm going to teach you or show you how you can create seamless patterns using a design software, which in this case I'm using Affinity Designer. Now of course what I'm doing in Affinity Designer you should also be able to do in Adobe Illustrator. However, for the purposes of this video I'm going to show you how I do it in Affinity Designer, and then you can pick it up and use those principles either in Affinity Designer or take them across to Adobe Illustrator. So the first thing that we're going to need to do is create a source file or a base template where we can then start to create our seamless pattern. My recommendation, by the way, is to keep this completely square. So what you want to do is you want to get a file and then new. So we want a new project. What we're looking to do in this case here is we're looking to create a square project. Now, you can make that 1000 by 1000 pixels, 2000 by 2000. I happen to have selected 2500 by 2500 pixels. The DPI or dots per inch of 300. So it's going to be square. And I do want a transparent background, and the reason I do that is obviously then I can add colors at a later stage. So if I select create, what I'll get then is my square image. So I've just zoomed it out a little bit to show you, and people make these ultra confusing in regards of doing seamless patterns. And really all you need to remember in this is obviously everything works on an X and a Y radius, or X and a Y position. And if you position everything on that X and Y axis, then everything should work out perfectly for you. So what do I mean by that? So I'm going to keep it really simple. What I'm going to do, hold shift and drag to get a perfect circle. I'll let that go. I'm going to change the color just to make it something easy for anybody to see. I've got that blue and I want to turn the stroke off, and I now have a basic circle. If I drag this about within the actual artboard here, you'll see that as I drag it about, you'll see I've got the green vertical line that's just appeared. That obviously is the vertical central point, and the red line is the vertical or the horizontal central point. Now, what I can do is, of course, I can stay on one of those points and drag that, and you'll see now that I've taken it halfway off the page, what I've actually got is I've got the red horizontal point, and the green point is showing me I'm on the edge of the document to the center of my actual shape. Now what I want to do if I want to create this a seamless pattern is whatever I do in the left, I must do in the right, and whatever I do in the top, I must do in the bottom. Essentially, if I overhang it by 50%, then I need the respective other 50% on the other side of the document. And for me to do that, what I'm going to do is Control C, Control V. You won't have seen anything there, but I've now created a second layer. If I move it, you'll see I actually now have two shapes. I just Control Z, which basically takes it back to the exact same point. Now, because I know I've taken this exactly to 50%, what I can do is I can drag it across to the 50% and do the same on the vertical axis. But what I want to do today, just do Control Z again, is I want to draw your focus to the X and the Y. What I do want to do is this one here, is I do plus 2500 pixels. You'll see I now have an exact copy or a replica of a copy, 2500 pixels this way. I could do this with any shape. So if I then take a triangle tool, again I'm holding my shift to get it the perfect shape. What we will do in this case is I'll change the color. I'm now going to take this to the central point to here. I'm just waiting to see the actual line. There we go. And if I come up, you'll see I now have the actual triangle vertical center and then obviously center of the actual layer is on the top edge, the top uppermost edge of the actual artboard. What I want to do is Control C, Control V, or you can right click, select copy, right click, select paste. And on the second layer, I want to move that down. So again, I can just drag it down because I know it's exact centers. And obviously what I'm doing is I'm building up to show you what to do when you don't have an exact center, or if you're not sure. What you then want to do is +2500. You'll see now what it's actually done is it's moved it to the exact respective point on the bottom edge of the actual project. Now, of course, then what I can do is I can fill out the rest of my my pattern design, resize that. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to pause the video, and you're going to see in obviously speeded up time me creating a pattern, and then I'll come back to you after that. So what I've done is I've created a simple basic pattern, and this is the pattern here that I've created. Of course, you can get as creative as you want, but the principles are if you break the outer edges of the actual square, well then what you do in the top, as above so below, and to the left, to the right, you got to reflect or mirror exactly what you've done. And you'll see exactly what I mean whenever we bring this into a new artboard. So what I now need to do is I need to save this out as a PNG. So I'm going to do File, Export. It's a PNG. I want artboard 1, tutorial 1, and then select save. So I've now saved that out as a pattern. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to create a second artboard, or a new document actually is what I'll do. I'll do File, New Document, and I'll choose one of the presets. So, I don't know, 15 by 10, create. So now that you have your new document, one of the things that you need to do is you need to click the artboard tool and select Insert Artboard in order for this to work. What I'm going to do is I'm going to zoom out slightly. Now that we've zoomed out, what we're going to do is we're going to select the Fill tool, which you can see here in the left hand sidebar. I'm going to select Fill. So I've got the context is Fill. Fill type is Bitmap. I want to select Bitmap. Now I want to navigate to the actual document that I created, which is tutorial 1 PNG. And you'll see now it has now dropped this into my artboard. And what I can do now is I can play about with this and resize this to however it suits. That you can see I can either stretch it out, or I can make it smaller, I can rotate it, I can do basically whatever I want to fill the background. With this particular software as well, it's quite intelligent. It actually knows that I'm on the horizontal center. If I come into the center point and I can drag it left to right, you'll see that I get the green and the red crosshairs, which means that I'm basically horizontal and vertical center. And if I drag this out, then I can position this to a size that suits me. So what I would typically use this for is if I was creating, say, a coloring book on ready for print on demand, or for Amazon KDP, this would be my coloring book cover. This would be something I would do to stand out and make my covers unique and different. But you can use this in so many different ways that you have these designs. As I said, once you start playing about with it, you can make it as big or as small as you want, and you'll see no matter what size I make this, it makes it quite stunning and unique. It also can mean that every design, whilst it's similar, can also be different. So you just create and change and move that about, and obviously you get a different effect every time that you do that. And that's how easy it is with Affinity Designer, and how you can create seamless patterns that you can use in your printables business, in your coloring book business, and whatever you're doing.